All right, let's go over this digital notebook that I created from a library book. It's a beginning programming over Python. Here's my folder and here's my python.html. I'm going to right click it and hit edit with Notepad++. While I'm waiting on that to open, here is my web page code. And inside of this directory called box, if you open that up, you've got 19 MP3 files. I read every single one of those chapters, and some of them were long. A lot of those chapters I had to read for about an hour, so that was a lot of time I spent on this. Python.ico is an image file that I created so that, well, you'll see. I used it for this folder icon, so it didn't just have a regular folder. I used it to make that look different, and I also used it, let me close this up. If I run this in Chrome, you can see that in the tab, the browser tab, the little Python image is there as well. I'm going to let this load real quick before I try to move it. There we go. And in a couple more seconds, there's the little Python icon that I created in Paint. Nothing too elaborate. Alrighty. What I have here is a navigation area on the left. I gave it a purple border, and when you hover over these list items that I'm using for navigation, I have links surrounding list items, and then the words that you see are the words in between the opening and closing list item tags. And if you hover over it, you hover over any of these, you can see that you get that lime green color. But when you click on any of them, the background will turn yellow. So I'll click on that. I'm using anchor tags, so with each of these list items, I am going to set an aref, which is a link, and it's going to attach to, like for instance, this is going to be linked to a number 1, and this horizontal rule that you cannot see right now because it's colorized to match the same color as the background will get caught and stop right at the top of the page. If I click 6, you see this says 6 loops. We have a different MP3 here and a different set of notes. It's because each one of these has an anchor tag that will pull the page up here to the top of the window. And when I get to the styles, I will change the horizontal rule to red just so you can see that in action, because right now it looks like it's not there because, again, it's the same color as the background. If I take the outside scroll bar here, you can see that there's tons of field sets with legends, as well as audio elements with different MP3s that they're going to play, and then different text areas with a slew of notes for that particular chapter in the book. And the anchor tags is what allows me to do this. Instead of me making 19 separate pages and then letting my navigation pull 19 different pages into an iframe, I just use the anchor tags and have everything on one super long page, which is what this is. Python.html is one super long page of information. So depending on what mood you're in, you may not want to have one super long page. You may want to have a bunch of separate pages and have them pulled into an iframe. But, there's always lots of different ways to do the similar things here. You can tell that the scroll bars have been styled. These are strange looking scroll bars. They're extra fat and they're rounded and they've got a pretty color. Some browsers did not accept this, and you'll have a standard plain looking scroll bar. I think 2 out of my 4 browsers that I tested gave me these styles and 2 didn't. And I tested my work in Opera, Google Chrome, Firefox, and Internet Explorer. Alrighty. So here's my opening HTML tag. Here's my opening head tag. Down here in purple is my closing head tag. First thing I've got are my opening and closing title tags. In between the title tags, I have whatever I want to show up here in the browser tab, which in this case it says Beginning Python because that's the book I got. The little picture I have that's next to it is created with this little bit of code. Link rel equals shortcut icon, href equals box / python.icode, type equals image / x icon. And that's how you get a little tiny picture to show up here. All right, next we have our style. Let me open up my style. My style starts on line 5 and it goes all the way to line 118. I'm going to go through this really quick because I'm tired for one, and for two, I don't want this video to be very long. If you want to pause it and copy the code until you get the whole thing on your own system and then make changes after the fact, knock yourself out. For the body element, in between the curly braces, we've got 3 styles. So this whole thing right here stylizes the body. For that stylized scroll bar, you do it like this: : dash webkit dash scroll bar, and in the curly braces with 30 pixels. That's one part of it. Then there's another part of it: : dash webkit dash scroll bar dash track, and in between the curly braces you have that one. It's on 2 lines, but it's actually one statement because there's only one ending semicolon. And then another little piece of code for the web scroll bar thumb. Here we have 3 statements. This is 2 lines. It's all one statement. It just doesn't fit in the width of what we're looking at right now. But WebKit box shadow inset 0020 pixels RGBA 0,0,0,0.9. That's one statement. That's one style. Background color aqua, I can change nice and quick so that you can see what the web scroll bar thumb actually is, because I have all of these scroll bars, the scroll bar, the track, and the thumb set. Let's see if that changes only one part of it or if it changes all 3. The thumb. Oh, it changed all of them. So now none of them are aqua, they're all pink. I think I like aqua better, even though pink's not bad, but aqua stands out more. And if you're doing something weird with your styles, it's kind of good to have something as important as a scroll bar stand out. I don't know if that stands out a whole lot more, but I think it looks a little better. With this color combination, I guess it stands out a little more. All right, so let me move on down. Finish these styles up. I have a div with an ID of left, and those are all the styles for that. So pound left means ID left, and everything in the curly braces gives us styles for that. And you can see in the middle it says border 25 pix purple ridge. Well, you can see at a glance what part of the web page has that. You also can see at a glance what div has the ID set to right, because you see border 25 pix lime ridge. So you can see at a glance what part that's dealing with. After that, we have field set styles. And after field set styles, we've got legend styles, unordered list styles, list item styles, the list item hover background lime. And again, as I'm hovering over these, you can see what that does. Okay, the A is referencing the links themselves. We have text decoration set to none. I don't think I used a paragraph tag, so I think I can just get rid of that. I don't believe I did a paragraph at all. So let's take that off, and I don't think anything's going to change. because I didn't use paragraphs tags because I put all of my notes information inside of text area tags. So any styling that I did to a text area also included the font size. As you can see right here, font size is set to 20 pixels. If I wanted to change that to 40 pixels, it would look probably strange, but it might be needed depending on who your users of your program is. You might need to make the font a lot larger for them to read. That's kind of obnoxious, so I think I'm going to put it back to 20. But again, depending on your users and what you're using it for, if you're doing a tutorial that somebody needs to see in a video and you happen to be doing it on coding, you might want the font as large as possible. All right, so that's everything for the text area. The audio tags have 3 different styles. And then there's that horizontal rule I was telling you about, that I'm using my anchor tags to move my page to where I want it when I want it. We have a height of 3 pixels. We have a background color set to black and a border set to thick black solid. I can simply change the border to thick red solid, save my notepad++ code, and then refresh my web page. And now, right now it's showing the scroll bar all the way to, well, it did for a second, to the top. If I hit number 1, you see how that horizontal rule rests right here at the top. And each place that I hit, it changes. This is not the same red scroll bar. Look at this scroll bar, red horizontal rule. And watch this outer scroll bar and see how it moves, because it's going to move to this horizontal. That's really driving me nuts. So here's 3, 3, 4, and just focus on this up here, because just because you can't realize that it's moving, if you look at this, you see this is changing, the time on the MP3 player is changing, and the notes are changing, and this outer scroll bar is moving as well. So it doesn't appear to be moving, but it is, and I kind of like that because it's almost seamless. Okay, and that's all you get. I'm going to take this horizontal rules border and put it back to black so that we don't even have to know it exists. It's basically taking up a space. It's being used as a space, as a space holder or a placeholder, and an anchor linking mechanism. All right, so that's everything in the styles. So let me close that up. We're almost done with the head. My God. All right, now we're going to look at the script. This is the JavaScript, and it's a short script. And it's only so that each time I click on one of these chapters and I get a new MP3 that I can play, it's only so we are only permitting one MP3 to play at a time. So one audio tag is going to play at a time. Each time you click a new one, the former one pauses. It does this right here. It pauses it, and it sets the current time to 0. So the next time you hit it, it's going to start at the beginning of the MP3 every time. And quickly to go through that, here again, here's our opening and closing script tags. Oh, we have document.add event listener, and then a parentheses with the word play in quote, single quotes, a comma, and then function with a parentheses E, then an opening curly brace. Then we have a first statement inside of this function that says var audios equals document.getElements by tag name, and in parentheses and single quotes audio, because we're dealing with the audio tag elements. Then we have a for loop here that says for, and then in the parentheses we have 4 statements, not the usual 3, but actually 4. Var I equals 0, comma len equals audios dot length, semicolon, I less than len, semicolon, and I plus plus. So in that loop, we're going to do everything that's inside of these curly braces. Inside of these curly braces, we have an if condition. If, and then in the parentheses, audio's index I does not equal e.target. So when this is well, let's hit number 1. When I click this, this will be the target, right? It's playing in my headset. Well, it's going to. It's playing in my headset right now. So now I'm going to go to chapter 2. It's still playing. I click this one. It finally stops the first one from playing and then allows me to listen to the second one only. So that's really all that this does. It takes whatever is no longer the target and it pauses it and it sets the current time to 0. So it basically sets it, rewinds it. It basically rewinds it to the beginning. All right, so there's the end of the if block. This is the end of the for block. This is the end of the function E, and after the comma we have a statement called true, keyword true. This is the end of the parenthesis that holds everything for the document.add event listener, and then finally the whole thing ends with the semicolon. So that's the JavaScript right there. Closing script tag, closing head tag. So now we've looked at everything in the head, so I can close the head up and let's look at the body. The first thing I have in the body is a division with an ID called left. Div ID equals left. And that is colorized with the purple border here. Field set ID equals nav, opening UL tag. And then all of this is copied and pasted for every single one of these navigation places that you want to hook you up to another part. You're going to copy and paste this and make a few changes. First off, we have a ref equals #1, which means ID 1 in double quotes. That is the beginning part of our anchor. That's one side of the anchor. And remember that link tags are a ref something, and then this is the end of the link right there. So the beginning and the ending of the link are all, this whole thing is a link because the beginning of the link and the end of the link are encasing everything inside. It makes everything inside a link as well. Here's the opening list item tag. LI, this is misspelled because I don't want to give it a pop-up, but if I changed my mind and said title equals hi there cutie pie. All right, hi there cutie pie is the title for the list item. So what happens is when I hover over the list item, hi there cutie pie will pop up. Now I have to wait on this to refresh and everything takes forever. But let's hurry up and wait for the picture to show up, and then I know it's completely done loading. Okay, there's the image. And I hover over computers, hi there cutie pie. That's the title attribute. It gives you a tooltip. But I don't really care to use that. I just like to have, sometimes I like to have things left in my code in case I copy and paste code and use it for a different purpose, and I want that functionality. But right now I don't, so I will just keep it in there, but just misspell it and not use it. But we are using an Onclick event. So you have the Onclick keyword and the equal sign, and then everything that's inside of these double quotes is part of the Onclick event. Now here I've got actually two statements that are going to happen when you click this particular list item. The first statement inside of the quotes is this one. Style.background color equals, and then the outer quotes are double quotes. Anything on the inside will have single quotes so that the computer understands what quotes are pairs and what quotes are not. Basically, it lets you know, it lets the computer tell the difference. Anyway, style.background color equals yellow. And there, that ends the semicolon ends that statement. And the other thing that it's going to do is this one, style.border equals 5 pixels tan inset. All right, so then we close up the whole list item tag And in between the opening list item tag and the closing list item tag, we just want what the user's going to see, a number 1, a dot, and the word computers. Then you close the list item tag and you close the link tag. And that's everything for that. Copy this whole thing, paste it over here, and just make a few changes. Instead of this being number 1, make it number 2. And you can change the background color to something different if you want to see how that looks. You can change the style.border to something else if you want, but if you get too weird, here the only thing I'm changing is the difference between the border being inset or outset, so that it looks like this is sticking out a little bit, and then when you push it, it looks like it's been pushed in a little bit. It's just a optical illusion. If you get too weird, your web page will start to move a little bit to compensate for whatever. For instance, instead of the style.border being set to 5 pixels tan inset, I'll do something really stupid like 15 pixels tan inset. And I will show you this is only going to affect this particular one, this the one that says Programming with Python 2. I'm going to refresh this. Everything's going to look good until I click that number 2, and I'll show you. If I click number 1, it's completely not affected. It does what it did before, but this is going to look weird as soon as I click this. You even have to scroll to the right a little bit just to be able to read all of it. So if you want to make your web page look really bizarre, then you can do that if you feel like it, but that would just be why. It would just be weirdness. But I just wanted to show you that. All right, so copy and paste this for however many chapters you have or recipes you have, and there is the end of the unordered list tag, the end of the field set tag, the end of the div tag. So now I've showed you how to do the first couple of these, and then just copy and paste to do the rest of these to make your whole navigation set. Now let's look at the part on the right. Div ID equals right. Here our horizontal rule has an ID set to 1. This is the ending part of the anchoring. When you click on this, computers, it's going to pull this part of the page all the way up to the top. So this is up here. And when I click this, loops, it's going to go way down here at the bottom of this code, and it's going to pull 6 loops with this MP3 and the loops nodes up. It's going to pull it all up, so it looks like I'm using an iframe and just pulling in outside pages, but I'm not. I'm actually pulling my web page up in increments at a time by using those anchor tags. So it's a nice easy way to navigate to different parts in your web page. All right, so after the horizontal rule with the ID of 1, you have a field set, a legend. The text inside of the legend is what you will see right in here. There's the audio controls opening tag and the closing tag, and what's inside of it is the source src equals, and then the path to the MP3 that you want to play. box/1.mp3 for the first one, for this one. So it's right here. Enter your audio tag into your field set, and then you have an opening text area tag. The only thing that goes inside of the opening closing text area tag is all your notes, or your recipe, or your set of instructions, or whatever you want to stick in here. You can't stick just any old thing in a text area. It's basically just for text. But as you can see, I can have tabs, and I can have line breaks and line spaces without having to use any special escape characters or any special code. That's the nice thing about using a text area to hard code stuff for your web page. There's the ending text area. Now we're going to do the same thing over and over. Just like we did the same thing over and over for our navigation, we're going to do the same thing over and over for these parts of the web page. You see, here's our horizontal rule. Here's our field set, here's our legend, here's an audio controls with the different audio that it's pointing to, end of field set, and then text area. So basically, and this green thing right here was just for my line of demarcation between the chapters information. It's nothing, it's just a comment, but it's, for me, it's a visual symbol. the actual code that's being read doesn't include this. This is ignored. So again, from here all the way to the ending text area right there, you can copy and paste all that and then just make your changes as needed. Change the 2 to a 3, change the legend information to the next chapter or the next recipe, change the path to the MP3 to the new one you want to listen to, and then change the text area contents to whatever you want to stick in between those two tags. And do that over and over and over again until you get your whole book's worth of information or whatever it is that you're doing. And let's hurry and get to the end. Chapter 18 and 19, I have not put the notes in for yet. So shortly you're going to see more of this. See, HRID equals 18, field set, legend, 18.testing, audio control, source, SRC equals box / 18.mp3. I haven't done the notes yet. These are just the subtitles in this chapter. And when I get around to it, I'll do the notes in between and all of these little titles. And the same thing for chapter 19. That's the end of chapter 18. Here's the beginning of chapter 19. The anchor tag, field set, legend, 19.debugging, end legend, audio control, source, SRC equals box / 19.mp3, audio, end field set, opening text area. Again, this is all the notes that I still have to do. Ending text area, ending div, ending body, ending HTML, end of video.